when he lost his life. On the first week of May, our first summit attempt. But unfortunately, our first summit attempt failed due to very bad weather, and we lost one Sherpa during that climb.
Oh,
Right, we lost
oh,
one Sherpa. We started climbing on the 5th of May from base camp to Camp 2, and on the 6th, the weather was bad. The weather was extremely bad. We could not go anywhere. But the Sherpas, they decided to go up to Camp 4 to supply oxygen tank, because they need to carry the oxygen tank and leave it at Camp 4.
right,
So three
right.
Sherpas went up to Camp 4. On the way down, one Sherpa just slipped off the slope and
Oh
slided
no.
all the way down, 1,000 meters down, and he landed at the base of Mount Lhotse.
Okay.
Right. So and we established a search party, and about an hour later we found his body, but he was already dead by then, and we were sad because I know this guy very well. We have been trekking together, on our way to the base camp earlier in March. So when he lost his life, we were sad. We were sad, and as a mark of respect, we told the climbing Sherpa. He's called the Sardar. Sardar is the climbing leader among the
Right,
Sherpas.
right.
That should we abandon our climb as a mark of respect? So he said no. Nothing can happen to him now. He's already dead. So we put his body in a tent, and we waited for good weather, and we started climbing again. He said that we can pick his body up on the way down after summiting Everest. But unfortunately, the weather turned extremely bad after that. We could not climb. We went up to Camp 3. The 2 days later, we went up to Camp 3, and we were supposed to move up to Camp 4 that morning, but the weather picked up and it was extremely bad. We had to hold on to the tent. It was rattling.
Wow.
It was the tent was rattling, as if it's going to be blown off from the slopes of Mount Lhotse. So, and then we got a call from the base camp saying that they received the weather report from the Tribhuvan International Airport, Nepal, and also from the Indian sources that the weather is going to be bad for the next 72 hours, and there's no way that we can climb. So they told us to abandon the climb as soon as the weather subsided. So we were holding on in our tents for some time. There were four of us. There are four of us. So initially the weather was not that bad. So my two other partners, Gary Chong and Fauzan, they radioed us, and then they told us that the weather looks a bit okay. I think we can go down. So they left the tent.
Right.
They were at the neighboring tent, so they left the tent. But I told Mohan that I think we should wait for a while. So as soon as they left, probably not even 30 meters away, 30 meters down, the weather picked up again. The bad weather picked up again, and they had to find refuge in a nearby a foreign tent.
All
Luckily,
right.
there weren't anyone in the tent because the other climbers from other countries, they have already left much
Right.
earlier. So
Right.
they had to get into this other tent, and we were just holding on to our tents and just waiting for the weather to subside. And when the weather subsided, we just took our chances and got out of the tent at base camp at Camp 3, and we moved down to Camp 2 uh, as fast as we could. And when we reached Camp 2, the weather was good, and the Sherpas decided that we can all move to base camp. So we had this inflated stretcher that we can actually just pull it along on the ground, on the ice. So we had this inflated stretcher, So we put Nima Rinzi's body.
Right.
So on the stretcher, tied him up, and we slowly dragged the stretcher down to base camp. And it was one of the longest journey from Camp 2 to base camp because we were actually dragging the body down. So it has to. So the movement was extremely slow, and it took us about many hours, more than 8 hours, to actually reach the base camp. So
Wow.
as soon as we reached the base camp, the Sherpas had a special prayer ceremony for the late Nima Rinzi, and we had a meeting. Then we looked into all the weather reports from various sources, and the expedition told us that I don't think we can climb for the next few days. So now uh, the season will be closed at the end of May. Okay, so now
Wow.
that end of May, by end of May they'll close the season,
Right.
and
Right. Right.
they will dismantle all the aluminum ladders that are fixed.
Right.
You know, so once the aluminum ladders are dismantled, the climbing season is over.
Right. And so
So
y'all were
uh,
running short of time already there.
yes, yes, that's right. Because we did not expect the weather to be bad that long. So since our first attempt failed, and we were back at the base camp, so
Right.
we had to recover completely to make sure that we are full of energy, we are 100% ready for the final summit attempt. So we had a meeting, and we decided that we cannot stay at the base camp to fully recover. So we decided to go down to the tree lines in the next 1 or 2 days. So on the 11th of May, all the four of us decided to go down to the tree lines. It was
That was
just
below the.
just above just above a place called Namchi Bazaar, where there are a lot of trees. So we went all the way down there to rest for 2 days, and we were told that wherever you go to rest, make sure you come back to the base camp on the 15th of May to prepare for the final summit attempt.
Right.
So as planned, we came back. We were back at the base camp on the 15th of May, and the weather was still bad on the 16th and 17th. There were only four of us left.
Four. Right.
Yes,
At
out
the
of the
beginning, it
10,
was 10. Right.
yeah. In the beginning, there were 10 of us, excluding one doctor and one RTM crew member.